What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Side Sports Show, where today it's going to be a very chill podcast style solo video. My name is Jack, and I'll be predicting every single game in the week 3 of the NFL, minus the Thursday night game of the Panthers versus the Texans. And starting it off, without further ado, we've got the Chargers versus Chiefs, AFC West matchup. A lot of people thought these two teams would be the best teams, and currently they're both sitting at the bottom of the AFC West, which is really weird to say. For the Chiefs, especially the Chargers, pretty believable, but the Chiefs, not really. And I don't see them losing another game. I don't see them losing 2 in a row. And as much as I want to choose the Chargers as a Chargers fan, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs. Now the matchup predicted on ESPN is 72.8% to the Chiefs, and you've got a guy like Patrick Mahomes who's already thrown 6 touchdowns and 680 yards this season. Herbert's thrown 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. He has had a few receivers drop a touchdowns, and 2 were called back during that Cowboys game, but they're pretty much the same in yards. Herbert should have 2 more. Eckler is outperforming Edwards-Helaire, but really it's where the receiving core is where it shines for the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill had that huge game against the Browns, and if he can emulate that, it'll be huge. But the Chargers have not been playing bad. They've just been getting unlucky with, they've been playing poorly in some games, and they've also been getting unlucky with penalties in other games. Both of their run defenses are statistically some of the worst in the league. But this Chargers passing defense has been good this season, and I see both of them battling it out. I see it similar to the first game that they played last season, Justin Herbert's first game, where it went well. But I see the Kansas City Chiefs winning this game. I don't see them covering the spread. It's just -7 to the Chiefs, but I see it as a very close game that the Chiefs will sneak out with the win. Moving on to Bengals versus Steelers. Let's give me the Steelers. This is the wrong game, I'm sorry, but the Steelers have really proven themselves this season that they could play at a very high level. Obviously, they had that rough loss against the Raiders, but they're going to be a solid team. Not the caliber they were last season, and the spread's only -3 to the Steelers, but 63.1% on the matchup predictor. Najee Harris is kind of getting into his role, but Joe Mixon's really winning that rushing battle there. And Jamar Chase, 155 yards and 2 touchdowns, while their other leading receiver for the Steelers, 141 yards. But it's really where the Steelers defense is, and I think we all know that. Never really been, especially in recent years, never been one of those elite defensive teams. I mean, offensive teams, sorry. You've got guys like TJ Watt up in there. You've just got an elite level defense that's always been elite level defense. And this Bengals team, I'd say some rough coaching from Zach Taylor. Joe Burrow has been playing pretty well, but I think Ben Roethlisberger is outperforming him a little bit. I mean, 4 touchdowns and 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions, so 1 interception. I see the Pittsburgh Steelers taking this, definitely covering the spread of -3. Moving on, we've got Colts, Titans. I'm going Colts. Easily Colts. I mean, not easily Colts. 40% on the matchup predictor, which doesn't really prove anything. And Carson Wentz did have those 2 sprained ankles, but I just have something with this Colts team, man. I just believe in this Colts team. If Jonathan Taylor can get going, Derrick Henry's really only winning this rushing battle just because of that one game he played. Dropped 50 in fantasy, which caused me to lose, which was stupid because that should have been an easy win for me. But I like this Colts team. If Frank Reich can tighten up that coaching, because they should have won that Rams game. They should have won that Rams game with all the stuff on the goal line. But this Colts team, I think, is going to shock a lot of people this season. I think they'll be a playoff team. Maybe not. This is the decider game. This decides whether the Colts are going to have a good season or a bad season, in my opinion. So, and the Titans too. I think this is a game where Julio is going to have to step up. He had a good game last game. He is leading the team in receiving yards, and this is a game where everyone is going to have to step up and just prove who's the best team in that division. And I think this is going to differentiate the bad team from the good team in that division because it's one of these 2 teams winning, for sure. Moving on, we got Jets, Broncos. I'm going with the Broncos. The Jets look awful right now. Zach Wilson has 5 picks through his first 2 games. Teddy Bridgewater is playing really well. I mean, I don't like the Broncos, but the Broncos' defense is looking incredible, and the Broncos' offense is looking very solid with Teddy B in there instead of Drew Luck. I think they might cool down a little bit in terms of heat, and they have a pretty easy schedule. They've had a pretty easy schedule, especially in this Jets game, which I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. But I think it's going to be a pretty easy win for the Broncos, and I think they're going to go in 3-0. If they lose, I'll be incredibly surprised. Moving on to Dolphins, Raiders. Now, this is a game I'll pick after I go over it. I think this is tougher than it looks because I don't like this Raiders team as much as other people do. I'm still picking this Raiders team. I think you got to give them 8 weeks before they start to fall off a little bit, just like in past seasons. I think they'll take this game, but I think they'll start to slow down. That's just wishful thinking from a Chargers fan, but I think looking at it from just any standpoint, you can see that they might start to decline a little bit. They had that great win versus Pittsburgh and that great win versus Baltimore, so they haven't had the easiest schedule. Maybe they're legit. Who knows? But I think that rushing situation has to be fixed right now. Your leading rusher has 34 yards. I mean, he has 2 touchdowns, but Josh Jacobs isn't going to play this game. It's rough, because you got a guy like Darren Waller, and Derek Carr is playing at elite level, so not really that worried. But I don't like this Raiders team in the long run. That's going to come back to bite me in the future, I know for sure. Panthers already won that game. Washington Bills, not really going to go over this much. Washington's a good team. Their 1-1 just came off of their win against the Giants, but they only won by 1 point. Just off that kick, which I don't like at all. McLaurin, Scary Terry's been playing really well. Gibson's been playing well, and Heineke's been playing well, but they're not going to be this Bills team. I think this Bills team is just starting to get warmed up. I mean, they had that rough loss against Pittsburgh, but 35-0 Miami. Bills covering the spread here for sure. Bears, Browns. I'm not going to go over this one. Actually, I will. Justin Fields, I'm excited to see him play with Andy Dalton out, but yeah, I'm going with this Browns team. This is a very good Browns team, and I don't think the Bears can compare. No offense, Bears fans. Cardinals, Jaguars. Cardinals, Kyler Murray is looking like an early MVP candidate. 7 touchdowns, 3 picks, but 689 yards. You're playing against Trevor Lawrence, who's thrown 5 picks, just like Zach Wilson. James Robinson only 72 yards. It's a rough situation down there. I think they got to get the coaching together right now. I think that's incredibly important. I don't like this Jaguars team at all. I think they're going to be the worst team in the league again. Maybe the Jets, but I just don't like this Jaguars team. Not much to be said there. Moving on, Ravens versus Lions. Ravens, a joke a lot of the time, so we don't give the Lions any credit, and I won't give them any credit here. I feel evil doing that, but yeah, we're gonna skip over the Lions. Sorry, Lions fans. Now, Saints, Patriots. Oh, I like this game. If Jameis can play like he did the first game, then obviously it's gonna be the Saints. But Mac Jones, he's been very consistent. 467 yards, a touchdown. That's pretty good rookie numbers. 51 for 69. Kamara only has 88 yards, so I think Kamara's going to have a breakout game soon. Damian Harris, right here. We'll go in a little bit more with Damian Harris. He's a young player, and he's got 160 yards already and 1 rushing touchdown, which I think is pretty good. I just think this Patriots team, it depends on the weapons that Mac Jones has. I mean, James White is the leading receiver right now, and most of the time you're getting checkdowns out of him. So I think this Patriots team can be good. I think the Saints have a bounce back game, and Kamara has his breakout game of the season. Falcons, Giants. I don't like either of these teams. I'm going to go Giants just because of that performance against the Washington football team. But they did lose one of their starting guards. So now they've got their center and their guard out on injured reserve from an already horrible offensive line. So Saquon's not going to get much out of this. So I think it's that passing in with Daniel Jones, who seems like he's been improving. I think they cover the spread of -3 because I don't like this Falcons team, but I think if Pitts can pop off this game and Ridley, I'm only saying Giants for now, which is probably a stupid take. Many of you probably think I'm lying, but come back to the video once the Giants win. Falcons ain't winning. I hope not, because then that make me look bad. Buccaneers versus Rams. Wow, this is a tough one. I'm picking the Rams just because I think Stafford. I mean, Brady's definitely a MVP candidate right now. 9 touchdowns through his first 2 games, 655 yards. I mean, Stafford's playing well. He has 5 touchdowns. But oh my God, I can't go against Brady, but I have to go against Brady. I love this Rams team. Should have beat the Colts a little bit more. But Cooper Kupp. I'm gonna have to go with the Rams. I'm not going very in depth with these games. Want to keep the video short, but wow, that's gonna be such a good game. I think that's a game everyone's gonna have to watch. 125 game. Seahawks, Vikings. Seahawks. I don't know why the spread is only -2. I mean, you got Dalvin, you got Kirk Cousins, who's just 5 touchdowns, but Russ is cooking. He always cooks at the beginning of the season. Tyler Lockett is eating right now. Seahawks for sure. I mean, I don't think we could see Minnesota going 0-3. That's kind of weird. I thought they're going to be a pretty solid team this year, but for sure going with the Seahawks here. Packers, 49ers. The 49ers are heavily favored going into this, but I think the Packers, if they can play like second half versus the Lions, they're going to be good. But I think Aaron Jones. Huh. This is tough. Let's go into Aaron Jones' stats. He had that monster fantasy game. But I don't know if I can go with him, honestly. He had 3 touchdowns receiving and a touchdown on the ground versus the Lions. But the Packers looked so bad that first game, and I don't know if I can go against them because the 49ers have looked pretty consistent and pretty solid 2-0. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with San Francisco. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go with the Packers. I think San Francisco is going to hold up. I think it's going to be incredibly close. I'm taking a lot of risks now. If I wasn't doing it for a video, I'd probably play it a lot safer, but taking a lot of risks just to... I'm just going with my gut feeling for these ones, so... Eagles, Cowboys. Cowboys! Hate the Cowboys. Robbed the Chargers of a win. Just kidding, that was the referees. But Dak is doing well in the air. Only 3 touchdowns, but that's fine. Tony Pollard, wow, that was a great game. Most explosive back right now. I mean, Zeke got it going against the Chargers too. That Chargers running defense was not good against this team. But CD's looking good. I think they just beat the Eagles here. I don't like the Eagles as a team. I mean, there was a joke of that guy betting that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't see them winning the Super Bowl if they can't even get past the Dallas Cowboys, who are going to win this game. Pretty controversial video. Just wanted to get something out there. It was pretty quick. Normally probably would make better picks than this, but it was just fun just to get something out for anybody to watch. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please hit subscribe. Make sure to watch our last few episodes. Our first episode, while outdated, was a banger. That podcast episode, we have so much fun filming that, and honestly I think you're going to enjoy watching that video, which we'll link right here. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, helps the channel grow, and thank you so much for watching.